rather than just looking at symptoms and, telling you to take a certain medication or supplement for it or diagnosis. It's all about really understanding the root cause of your dis-ease in your body, which they believe is an imbalance of 3 different dosha types. There's Vata, there's Pitta, there's Kapha.
Hi, I'm Kim Tolson and I'm the traveling therapist. It's my passion to teach therapists how to navigate online private practices and multiple income streams so they can travel the world. I'm a digital nomad with a virtual insurance-based private therapy practice and a multi-six-figure coaching business. I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship and developing tools that can help therapists live an adventurous lifestyle. In this podcast, I will discuss my journey as a digital nomad. I'll chat with other traveling therapists and help you navigate the complexities of running an online insurance-based practice. I'm so glad to have you with me on this journey. Managing a successful private practice can be challenging, even if you have all the skills and experience you need to support clients. Most training programs offer little to no guidance on running your own business. That's why Alma gives clinicians the tools they need to build a thriving private practice. When you join Alma, you can get credentialed with major insurance payers within 45 days, as well as guaranteed payment within 2 weeks of each session. You can also attract clients who are the right fit for your practice with a free profile in Alma's searchable directory. As you build your caseload, Alma also offers time-saving tools and administrative support, so you can spend less time on paperwork and more time delivering great care to your clients. Visit helloalma.com/Kim to download your free guide to identifying and connecting with clients who are the right fit for your practice. That's helloalma.com/KYM to get your guide. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Therapist Podcast. Super excited to have our guest today. I was just telling her I feel like I could have her on for 3 different episodes because she has so much knowledge and value to give us as traveling therapists. But I want to welcome Christina Casavalos. I was practicing her name before I hit record. She's here. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff. But Christina, I'd love to just turn it over to you and say, how did you go from just being a traditional therapist to a traveling therapist?
Yeah, so it's kind of a story, like it is for most of us, I suppose. Yeah. But so traveling has always brought me so much joy. I think it is one of, and I'm sure you can relate to this, one of the most valuable things, privileged things I get to do in my life. And I just remember thinking, I wish I could make this a job or combine a job with it. How would this be possible? And then that's actually when I decided I wanted to do humanitarian work. So I actually was accepted in with Doctors Without Borders and other NGOs. And it was when I was doing that work that I became really sick, ended up in the hospital, had to cut my contract. Yeah, it was literally I had to return back from Mexico. This was after the earthquake in 2018, thought I was going to die. Whole thing was passed around like a hot potato until I realized,
oh my gosh,
Lyme disease. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So from there, my focus was entirely on my health. And I realized in the midst of this healing that I couldn't find a therapist specializing in chronic illness.
Yes.
And it was near to impossible. I actually ended up with a therapist in London who does this work. And I came to this realization that I need, my past life in humanitarian work is over, which that was major grief in that, because this is what I really thought I wanted to do. I worked really hard. It's difficult to get accepted in Doctors Without Borders. It's like near to impossible. It was a huge that I got in, and you put in all this energy and all this stock into this identity, and then right away it's taken from you, which was really difficult for me. But in the midst of that, I realized I need to become this therapist that I could not find. And I took, So I created I created this. I became a chronic illness therapist, and as I started to feel better and better, because I couldn't travel for a while, I was not feeling well enough, for various reasons. And as I started to feel better, I would do like road trips, or I would do eventually weekend trips, domestic trips. And then eventually it was like a big deal when I was able to start doing international travel again. And in domestic trips, even, or road trips, I would continue to see my clients. I would take my laptop with me, and because I've been online this entire time, not because of the pandemic, but because, again, I specialize in chronic illness, and most of my clients to some extent are housebound, and it's really difficult for them to access providers. So this actually makes it a lot easier for them, and it's, in my opinion, just as effective. I see all my own therapists and coaches on Zoom, and I prefer it. I love it. And most of my providers. Yeah. So eventually it just became part of the nature, and I realized, wow, this was a really crappy way, like a roundabout way to get to it. But the post-traumatic gain is real. Like, I am doing what I love, and a lot of my traveling has to do with my health still. And I just did this Panchakarma, and it's fantastic. I have these clients who are healing from chronic illness themselves, and are understanding and are so flexible, and understand my requirement of flexibility. It goes both ways. So there's just a lot of flexibility I practice, and I notice that I feel so much better when I'm traveling. This is just me. Everyone's different, but this is my lifestyle. This is what I do. And as long as I'm in a time zone and not screwing up.
Yeah.
I hate when I'm traveling and the time changes. Oh my God.
Oh, it's terrible, especially with chronic illnesses. I mean, it's brutal on your body. If you have an autoimmune disorder like I do, it's brutal. It really is.
It is. So I don't think people realize how brutal it is for us when those of us, healing from chronic illness, when the time changes, and then moving from time zones too can be really grueling. And I have to do things. People are like, oh, or you're done with your Panchakarma in India. Are you just going to get right back to California? No, I have to go super slowly.
Yes.
I'm going east. I'm going across the Pacific to get back. I have to do this slowly, and I have a method. Like, for me, it's they say 1 day per hour of time difference. So wherever I go, I stay for that length of time, and then move on to the next place. So
that's so smart. Yes, I love that. And I just love what you're saying about, you had to become that therapist that understood it because you couldn't find it. And that's, my therapy practice is like that. All of my income streams are based on pain points that I personally have had in my life. And, I tried to figure out a solution, and then I had to share that knowledge with the world. You know what I mean? It's like, it just feels like you have to share. I don't know if you feel like that, but yeah. And the chronic illness piece, like, I had the same thing. Therapists, doctors, my whole life. I didn't get diagnosed with celiac disease until I was probably early mid-30s, I think, maybe even later than that. And I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I just felt like crap all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, people don't understand just these undiagnosed chronic illnesses, how they affect the biopsychosocial of everything, especially if you love to travel. And that's like your calling. Like, you have to go, you have to travel, you got to work out techniques and strategies like you're talking about. How am I going to manage it? Yeah.
We have to think we have to do a little bit more work than the average person to be able to do this, like between medications we're taking and supplements, and, what time we're flying, the different time zones. I mean, there's a lot more. And food, like, I'm the person researching food in advance. I'm that person. Yes. Because like, I mean, gosh, being fellow celiac, but it's not going to have gluten. There's not going to be cross-contamination. It's there's a lot of consideration that goes into this, but
oh my gosh,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it. It is definitely worth it. I mean, I just hear you say, and I'm like, how many times have I called ahead to the airline and ordered like a gluten-free meal, and then you open it, it's like not gluten-free, and it's like, okay, thank God I brought like 20 snacks with me so I'm not going to starve before I get to my next destination. It's like so terrible.
It's like a joke when I open up my bag. I'm like, I'm a very light packer, but half my bag is just backup food, essentially. For
totally get it.
Yeah, because me hangry is not good for anyone. And you're on an airplane and you're hungry and you open it up and you're like, this has gluten.
This is not something I could eat.
Yeah. So I'm
worse
about backup meals at this point.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think we should totally just do a whole episode on like gluten or food intolerances in traveling, because there's so much to talk about with that. But
yes.
I'd love to talk about, so all of this has led to a healing journey, and you've had a couple of them, but right now you're in India. I would love if you just tell everybody, like, what is this that you just did? Can you explain it? Can you tell us about it? Because I read it in the Facebook group. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I don't even know what this is. So I would love for you to just share with the audience.
Yeah. Yes. So I just completed an almost 2-month-long Panchakarma journey in Kerala, India, and it was absolutely life-changing. What is it? It's essentially an Ayurvedic detox program. This medicine has been around for over 5,000 years in India.
Wow.
And rather than just looking at symptoms and telling you to take a certain medication or supplement for it or diagnosis, it's all about really understanding the root cause of your dis-ease in your body, which they believe is an imbalance of 3 different dosha types. There's Vata, there's Pitta, there's Kapha. Vata means you have too much air in the body. That can affect things like your digestion. Hit me, hit you.
Yeah.
Kapha is actually, Pitta is actually what I am. So everybody's one of these types, but the imbalance is more so in one area than the other. So for me, Pitta is too much fire, and there's personalities, there's body types that go with each of these. Like, for example, Vata usually is like someone who's extremely lean, like skinny, hard for them to even, lots of air in the body, versus Pitta is more like a medium build, usually a fiery personality, pretty outgoing. But yeah, too much fire in the body. Like, I have 65 active symptoms. I don't even know how many diagnoses and autoimmune diseases at this point. I haven't even counted. But like, for me, I have like a lot of rashes and heat issues, right? And issues with my blood pressure being too low. This is all attributes of a Pitta imbalance. Then there's Kapha, which is too much water in the body. And usually these people have bigger builds. They're usually like very calm, sweet, docile people as a personality trait. So anyway, these are the different types of
so interesting. Yeah.
It's fascinating. And you can look up the dosha type. They have quizzes and everything. So I
don't recommend to do that, because I'm already like, I think I'm a Pitta and a dose, like a combination, if it's possible to have both of those. But yeah,
it is very much possible. I am Pitta, Vata are my two. So then you decide to complete this Panchakarma, which is really intense. It's not like just seeing an Ayurvedic doctor who is going to maybe do some treatments and give you some medications. This is an extreme detox. And most of the time, you may just need 21 to 30 days. This is like considered a full Panchakarma treatment. I needed a bit longer there just because I had so much going on for my first time. And what I will say is it's going to look and feel different for, even if you and I are the same, Pitta, whatever. Mm-hmm. We go in there with similar symptoms, but not quite the same. They're going to do different things for us. There's different phases of treatments, and the food they give you, for example, again, just using Pitta because I experienced it firsthand. They're going to try to give me foods that are cooling to the body. So cooling from the inside. So obviously nothing spicy.
All the stuff I love.
Except me too, girl. Me too. I miss so much. I miss so much. Food was great. It was just, it's considered it's like the tastiest hospital food I've ever had, but nonetheless, it's considered hospital food because the Panchakarma is completed at a hospital ashram type setting.
Wow.
So yeah, basically most people, and not everyone, but a lot of people will go through this detox process within the Panchakarma usually ingesting medicated ghee first thing in the morning. And the ghee it's a binder and it spreads through your entire body literally until it gets to the outside and you're sweating it out.
Wow.
So in my case, I lasted 5 days, 5 mornings with this ghee, and you drink it first thing in the morning. Everyone receives different ghee if you do this. Like no one
Wow.
the same ghee I did. Mine did not taste very good. Mine was awful.
No.
I just kept repeating the mantra, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I can do
I love that.
And all you're eating is pretty much rice soup, kanye as they call it, while you're in this process. And then 2 days of like sauna. You're in like this heat box. That's
Wow.
very ancient when you see it, and you're getting a special massage. And then the next day you purge, and there's 2 different ways of purging depending on your type. There's either purging this way or purging that way. And for us Vata or Pitta types, it's almost always this way.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad, because I do not enjoy vomiting. That is not, I really cannot stand having to, if I have to, of course, whatever, but not my favorite time, not my favorite. So anyway, this is the hardest section of it, is getting you to this ghee detox time. And once you're done with the purge for the day, the following day, you go into restorative mode, if you will. You're still detoxing, but, and this is going to look different. There's going to be my favorite, it's called body data, where they pour hot oil on you, 2 people, 2 therapists, for almost an hour, up and down your body. Yes, front to back.
Wow.
Fantastic. You get very comfortable with being naked at this place. Just FYI to anyone who's interested. So this is just so amazing. Again, it depends on what's going on with you. But for me, they did something called Shido data, which they drizzle you've probably seen it, pictures of it maybe, where they drizzle hot oil across your forehead. This is specific neurological conditions. So think Parkinson's, even it's known to help with folks on the autism spectrum.
Wow.
Yeah, epilepsy. So many different conditions that this is meant to treat, migraines and so forth. And body data too also has its own therapeutic benefits. Let's see what else that they did. They did this one with rice and milk, where they basically pat you down, up and down, and each person receives a different type of this. But anyway, any of the oils they use are completely customized to what your conditions are. So everything is bespoke, literally every little thing is bespoke. And throughout the days, they're giving you various take this, drink this, do that.
Wow.
I can go on. I mean, it's 2 months of receiving this. I think the most interesting though is the eye treatment I received, where they pour ghee into your eyeballs. They put this special dough, gluten-free, don't worry. It's made from a dal, so lentils, black gram, and they put this dough around you like goggles, and then they pour the ghee into your eyes, and it's just for 10 minutes. Does not feel good.
Wow.
You just have to open your eyes up as much as you are able to. So 5 days of this, followed by the 6th day.
Oh,
Goat liver is the 6th day. Even though this is entirely veg, I mean, almost 99% vegetarian, this entire thing. This is one of those things that they do that's not vegetarian. Someone had to go into the village and get this goat liver, and it takes them hours to make this special concoction with herbs that they pour into your eyes. And during this time, you're not really supposed to look at any screens or computers. And shout out to my clients who are fine with us meeting over the phone during this time, because But anyway, I mean,
wow. Oh my gosh. I have 1,000 questions.
Sure, please.
This is just unbelievable. Well, I guess first, I'm curious, how did you pick the place where you did this? And how much does something like this cost? And it sounds like you were still able to work and all of that. So I'm just curious about how that went for you. Because after I saw your post on the Facebook group, I, of course, was Googling it and I see there's places in the United States that offer it. And then I was like, well, she's in India. This has got to be like the real authentic place to go. So I was just curious, like, if somebody wanted to do something like this, would you recommend like this? I don't know if you call it pilgrimage or what. I don't know. Go actually to India and have like the authentic people doing this, or, I'm just curious about how you even went through that process. Building a private practice can be challenging. I know for me, when I was starting out, I had no idea how to get referrals. I had no idea how to manage paperwork. I knew nothing about insurance billing. The whole process was really daunting. Building a private practice can be challenging, to say the least. I remember when I was starting out, I had no idea how to get referrals. I had no idea how to navigate insurance. I had no idea even what paperwork was required. So growing a caseload, navigating insurance, and managing billing and paperwork all take significant amounts of time. And that's all in addition to delivering great care to your clients. That's why Alma gives clinicians the tools they need to build a thriving private practice. When you join their insurance program, you can get credentialed within 45 days and access to enhanced reimbursement rates. They also handle all the paperwork, from eligibility checks to claim submissions, and they guarantee payment within 2 weeks of each appointment. So in addition to their insurance program, Alma also offers time-saving tools and administrative support, so you can spend less time on paperwork and more time delivering great care to your clients and traveling the world. Learn more about building a thriving private practice with Alma at helloalma.com/Kim. That's hello, ALMA.com/KYM to get started.
Yes. So, okay. Well, I had a friend who pretty much put her Lyme disease into remission. And the only person I knew, this was years ago that I met her, when she told me that, I was like, I've never even heard of this. Like, what? And in my mind at that time, unthinkable to even make it to India with my health away. Yeah. But I thought it definitely was interested, and it felt to be fascinating. And when I was heading to Europe to see family and do some legal paperwork, so I'm Greek and I have an intention to move there, my friend who was house sitting goes, I had a flare up earlier this year and I still wasn't feeling better. She goes, we've been chatting about Panchakarma. She's like, why don't you you're already travel math, right? You're already halfway to India. Like, why not just do it? I'm here to support you. Go do it. Okay. But time was ticking and I had to choose a place. So I'm doing all of this research and I'm just trying to reach someone on the phone, and I'm having such a difficult time, and I'm seeing different prices and they're giving me different rates. And I'm like, wow, this is above my budget. And I said, maybe I should stick to the US. And then I find out the US cannot do the same things India does. Like, even with you're very limited because of we're in a very different country where Ayurvedic doctors are not considered doctors here. Right. It's not, but in India, they're highly revered. They're seen the same as they would a medical doctor. And again, the medicine's been here a lot longer than allopathic Western medicine. Let's all keep that in mind. Like, yes, literally 5,000 years on. So yeah. So anyway, there was one place that was very traditional. I so badly wanted to go there, and they were just being terrible with communicating with me. And I was freaking out because I'm like, I have no time. Like, if I'm going to choose a place, I have to choose it now. And I actually was starting to forewarn my clients, or at least tell them, like, hey guys, like, this is a mission I have. And one goes, I have a family friend who went to one, and I highly has seen huge benefits. And I contacted them, and they got back right away. And I should also say, I'm a huge fan of using astrocartography. If anyone knows what that, are you familiar with astrocartography?
I guess that's just mapping your astrological.
So it's maps and astrology combined, and you can look up your chart for free. And it tells you like your karma or like the energy of each place. So literally, like, only one section of India was like great for me. The others were like, you may have challenges in work. And I'm like, I don't need more challenges. I'm about to like be gone for a long time. So this place he recommended was in this section, which is Kerala, and they were really kind. I think I was there for almost 2 months, and it was under 2,500, which consider is all your room, your board, and treatments every single day. And let me just say, I have more than that for just one treatment for my chronic illness. Like, one treatment, right?
Definitely.
So this is how I chose this place. It's, for us Westerners, it's incredibly affordable given what you are receiving.
Gosh,
It was about for 30 days, it was about $1,500. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. It's
oh my gosh.
I mean, the thing is just getting over there, because like I said, like now I'm in Sri Lanka. It's going to be a process to get back to the States, but yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, so while you're going through this process, you're able, I guess you have downtime when you're not getting all these treatments. And is that when you're fitting your clients in? And is there good Wi-Fi? Like, how does that work? Because in my mind, it's like in the middle of this little town and there's no Wi-Fi and it's just really secluded. I don't know, but that's just what I'm picturing.
So the truth of the matter is, right, so I'm 13 with the time change, which happened while I was there. 13, now I'm 13.5, and Sri Lanka is the same. So 13.5 hours ahead of California, which most of my clients reside on the West Coast. So I'm licensed in California, Oregon, and Washington. I have some coaching clients on the East Coast, which makes that a little bit easier. But my window is either very late at night or early in the morning. And so I had to figure out a cadence where I could meet with them. But for the first month, I think I only met with only a few, because I really wanted the time off to go inward, and that's what was recommended to me. But when we realized I'd need longer than that, I just said, I'm going to have to figure this out. So late night, generally like early mornings for me, evenings for them. And I'm not going to lie, like Wi-Fi was not always great. And again, shout out to my clients for their flexibility, because this isn't the first, I remember last year I was in Guatemala and it was not a good Wi-Fi time either. This comes with the territory. And, I do have that the eSIM, the Aurelio, the app.
Oh, yeah. I want to have an episode on that too, because I keep wondering how people are using it and how's it working, and just all of that. So I'm gonna have you back for like 4 episodes, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll be back. But the quick summary of it for those who are interested is it's a data. eSIM is just a data SIM, so a SIM card. So you're not going to be given a phone number. It's only you're only going to have things that require data working. So I will recommend to anyone, switch everyone to either like Google Voice or WhatsApp or some kind of data messenger, because texting is going to be null. It's not going to work. So there were times that I just had to move from Wi-Fi to my data, and even sometimes the data wasn't exactly perfect, in which case we would just meet over the phone, and it always worked out. Like I said, I have I really truly have the best clients who are extremely flexible and understanding of the circumstance. And, from what I heard, they were just happy to meet with me in any capacity. So.
Yeah. And they get it. Yeah, I'm sure. Especially knowing probably that you're on your own health journey and they all have chronic illnesses that probably tend to be more flexible. Yeah. Like you were saying before.
Yeah. So I picked the right population.
They get it. They totally get it. You might be fine one day, the next day it's like out for the count.
Yeah. And there's flexibility on both parts. Like I don't have a cancellation fee. Like if they're not feeling well, and there's no harm, no foul. There's complete passion, understanding.
I love it. Yeah, that's so cool. So also in my mind, I've got this whole picture of how this whole thing goes, but also in my mind, I've like, there must be like some sort of spiritual component to it or something. Is there also, I think Eat, Pray, Love or something, I don't know, but is there like a spiritual component? Or is it all just they're doing the medicine part and then you're kind of left to your own devices to figure out what you want to do? with the rest of your time?
Yeah. So there can be, if you would like for there to be. That's what I'm gonna say. It's accessible, and it's funny you say eat, pray, love, because like I've been on this eat, pray, love journey for quite a while. I feel like it's become a lifestyle. I don't know if you can relate to that, but it really, really, truly feels that way. So there's like hatha yoga, for example, offered every day, which has this as a component. There's this place itself, it's called Aditya Hospital, Aditya, is surrounded by 6 snake temples, which is really, that wasn't planned. Interesting. So different families take care of each one. They take care of one. There are 2 beautiful Hindu temples in walking distance.
Wow.
Just gorgeous. And usually Hindu temples don't allow for Westerners to go inside. But in this case, they have a really good relationship with the hospital. And as long as someone shows you the ropes first, who's in, you're then allowed to go on your own and do pujas, right? Offerings and prayers, which is really, really, at least beautiful for me, like super supportive to be able to just like be there and do something that was not health related and be a spiritual space. And the hospital itself does a puja with a Hindu priest every month for the health and well-being of all the patients, which is just gorgeous. Like, what a wonderful thing. What sucks is if you're on your menstrual cycle, your treatments stop and you're not allowed to attend a puja, nor are you allowed to go to the temple from 7 days after the start date. So like, both times they did it, of course. I was like, cool, this is awesome. However, I got to do a personal puja, which if patients ask for it, they can. And that was such a lovely experience. So yeah, that pray part for me was part of it, but it's completely optional for anyone who attends. Like, it could just be the medical part, and that's that. They also let me see a Vedic astrologer while I was there.
Wow.
And that was like a mind-blowing experience because he himself is an Ayurvedic doctor and a Hindu. So in India, it's different, right? It's not like, in the US, it's like, I know someone who does astrology or know of someone who does at the very least, or I myself do. In India, it's like, it's all about having like a long family lineage or line of this practice. So anyway, he comes from a long lineage of Vedic astrologers, and he specializes in medical astrology because he's a doctor. So really interesting to hear his perspective on like why I've been sick in this lifetime, what has contributed to that, and like as a therapist, how do we protect ourselves from taking on trauma or negativity by any means. And like I bought this amulet for that he recommended, and and just offered me like pranayamas or breath work to do.
Wow.
He also told me to move out of the US, which
he did.
He did. He said, without knowing I was intending to, he said,
wow,
energy is not compatible with mine, so it's not conducive to my health, essentially. So that was cool to hear as an affirmation. So I got my eat, pray, love out of it.
Yes. That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
These people over Zoom, and like I think I have 10 friends about
oh my gosh,
and I'm curious to know how it goes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to bring him into the traveling therapist membership. Every month I do like what I call a woo-woo topic. That would be so cool. Oh my gosh, I bet they would love that.
I would. Oh my, he's so smart. He speaks perfect English. Like he is that would be a fascinating episode. I hope you do it. I would love that.
Okay, I would love that too. Yeah, give me his info after we wrap this up.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. So this is just so interesting to me. So, okay, so you wrap it up. So how do you feel? Like, I'd just love to know, like, how do you feel after all that?
Yeah. So I feel a lot lighter and more grounded and clear. What I will say is and this is what I've been told by multiple people I saw there or met there who'd been multiple times before, right? Because like for me, it's recommended that I come 2 more times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've had chronic illness since infancy. So this isn't gonna, even being there for 2 months, it's gonna be a process. They gave me like all of these, I mean, you can see this like powder, for example, all of these medications to take.
Yeah.
They give me 20 kilos of medicine to take back to the States.
Oh, wow.
30 is the max, by the way, for y'all listening.
Good to know.
For Lankan Airlines. So yeah, barely made it on this flight with what I had. But 2 to 3 months after is when you really see results. But so far, like I just feel, I don't know what other word to use other than pure. I feel I feel so much more grounded, revived, restored. I just feel clear. And again, this is like amidst like me planning last minute travel, operating in multiple, time zones and juggling clients and lack of sleep. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So are you going to move out of the United States? I know do you already have dual citizenship in Greece? Because you're Greek, right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that makes it move here. The intention is, I think, this year to start heading that direction. And what's great about being in Europe is how central it is, like to places like India and the US and Africa. And yeah, that's the intention. So yeah, paying attention. Dr. Vikas, the astrologer, said, and
wow.
Yeah. But the intention is there. I don't know how realistic it is. It's quite, a bureaucratic process and arduous.
Sure.
Move your entire life to another country that, I've traveled to and spent time with and have family there, but it's much different to travel someplace than live there. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. So interesting. Well, we're probably going to be in Greece, so I might look you up, see if you're there. We're probably going to be in Greece. I think maybe May, June, July. We're thinking it's all tentative, but yeah,
of course. That's when I would hope to be there by. But yes, we are getting out if it happens. Yeah.
Okay. I would love that so much. So, and Greece is like one of the blue zones, right?
There's an island. Ikaria is one of the blue zone areas of the world. And there was did you see that Netflix special on
I haven't watched it, but I've definitely seen it, and I've read some about the blue zones and everything. And, just since we're talking about chronic health and everything, it's like, wow, that's probably a good energy place, I guess, for you also with all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, back to astrocartography, like the area I plan to move to is the island of Crete, where my mom's from. And yeah, it's good energy. It's on a good line. It's on my Jupiter line. So.
Oh, that's so cool. To anybody listening, like the blue zone, there's like, what is it? 7 areas in the world or something. I can't remember how many areas, but it's just like where people live to be like 120, like they're super healthy. It's just something about the environment and the food and all of that together just makes it a really healthy place to live, right?
Yeah, it's the areas with the highest concentration of centenarians, people who live to be over 100 years old. So they look at the different attributes between, food and environment and family connection, social life, so on and so forth. And there's a great special right now on Netflix. And I think that same researcher, you've probably seen his like previous documentary about it, but this had more new information, which was great. Yeah. So there's one in Costa Rica, Italy, I think Okinawa, California.
Wow.
Might be
so interesting. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I could talk to you forever about all of this stuff. It's just so interesting. But how do people reach you if they want to work with you? Or I know you said you do coaching, so how would people find you?
Sure. Yeah. It can be found at beginwithintoday.com or at beginwithintoday. Not as active on social media, but you can find my website there. I also facilitate a free support group for chronic illness every month that anyone is welcome to attend anywhere in the world, including family and friends. Would love to have you guys there if that at all resonates. And yeah, that's
That's so cool. Yes, I love that. And you have the gluten-free. I mean, I'd love to have a whole nother episode about it, but the gluten-free piece, could you tell everybody about that too if they want to?
Sure. I'm a gluten-free and health-conscious travel and lifestyle writer, and I have a publication called Buen Camino, Buen, but instead of a C, we're using a Q. The C was taken. Qamino. It's after, and I know we probably want to discuss this too, but after Camino de Santiago, it's a 500-mile, 800-kilometer pilgrimage across Spain that I did in 2015, life-changing. And Buen Camino is a common saying on the Camino, and I just found my affinity with writing and decided to continue it, and then realized there's not enough information on gluten-free travel. Someone needs to write about this. So that's what I started focusing on. So more, health conscious, gluten-free travel. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. I subscribed. So
Awesome. Thank you.
I love that. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. You guys reach out. Of course, I'll put all the information in the show notes. Super interesting. You really inspired me. I don't know how I would ever do anything like that, but I would love to do something like that one day. So thank you for sharing your experience and kind of giving us some direction around what it is, what it's all about, and how to do it if you want to do it. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And it starts with that contemplative state always, right? Like even for me, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, no, that's not, that was like me with ayahuasca, with the Camino, all these like things, Vipassana retreat, 10-day silent meditation retreat, all these things where I'm like, no way. And then we get to it, And yeah. So
it's
I hope it
amazing.
inspires you. Yeah.
And it does. It definitely does. Yeah. I was so excited to talk to you today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to the Traveling Therapist podcast. For show notes, links, and downloads, head over to thetravelingtherapist.com, where you'll be able to learn more about my journey, the courses I've created for you, and other exciting resources to make your dreams become a reality. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your traveling therapist friends, subscribe to the podcast, and if you love this episode, please leave a review.